Hello, friends, and welcome. Pricing. I bet pricing was something that you thought you would never have to worry about when you started your coaching or consulting business. But the truth of the matter is that pricing and money are huge topics, and coaches and consultants, their belief in their own self-worth is one of the reasons why they have difficulty pricing themselves for profit. So welcome. I'm Diana Lidstone, better known as the Entrepreneur's GPS, and I help people get noticed, get clients, and become more profitable. So welcome and say hello if you are here. I'd love to see who is in the comments, who is here, where you're from, and especially today, I'd love to know what business you are in today. And if you are someone who has been watching these Tuesday trainings, you know it's whether you are with the team #live or #replay. So let me know in the comments. There we are. Wonderful. #live. So let me know what type of business you have. And we're going to start off today. Today, I'm positive is going to be a little longer than our normal Facebook Lives on Tuesday. We're going to talk first about 5 big pricing mistakes that, if you are making them, are guaranteed to hurt your coaching or consulting business. And we're also going to talk about how 3 different ways that you can use to price your compelling, your core offering, your signature program, your flagship program, whatever. We're going to talk about 3 ways. Then we're going to talk about 10 signs that you might see in your business that are indicators that you should be raising your prices. So ready to strap on the seatbelts and let's get started. And again, it's #live or #replay. And I'd love to know what type of coach or consultant you are or what your business is in the comments. So here we are. The 5 common pricing mistakes that I see in the coaching industry. And the reason that these are common, the reason that they have so much impact is because when we price things too high, people sometimes don't see the value, but when we price things too low, often that can happen. And it is really about your brand. Where does your brand, how is it positioned? Is your brand a Walmart or a Tiffany's? So those of you who know me know that I talk about that a lot, right? One of the reasons that pricing is so important. So I'd love you to share with me before I get into these stats. Who here has a problem? Who here feels challenged about their pricing? And just say, hell yeah, if it is you. Just give me a hell yeah. So the stats. And this is about women entrepreneurs. And this is kind of what originally fueled me to get into business, that 58% women entrepreneurs earn 58% less than males. And you know what? That's just darn friggin' wrong. Darn wrong. In 2005, I looked for a more current figure, but 2005, it said 79% of self-employed people earn less than $20,000 a year. That's darn wrong, right? $20,000 a year. Think about this. 79%, let's say 80% of self-employed people earn less than $20,000 a year. And yet they're working full time. Okay? Not good. Not good. So let's talk about pricing mistakes. Number 1, the biggest pricing mistake is not raising your prices on a consistent level. So maybe somebody would type into the comments for me, not raising your prices consistently. And most entrepreneurs don't raise their prices. And I can honestly tell you that every single client I work with, one of the first things that we do is we raise their prices. Doesn't matter whether it's a $10 million company, $1 million company. Thank you so much for typing that in. raising your prices even as little as 10%. 10% means that 10% is 10% profit and is going to go immediately to your bottom line. Okay? There are people out there, 10%, it's insignificant for them. Almost guaranteed you raise your prices 10%, nobody is going to stop buying from you. The other thing when it comes to talking about raising your prices is talking about the value of the transformation that you offer. So it could be one of the examples that I've often used is, you can buy water to drink. And we know that you can get free water from the tap. You could buy a case of bottled water at Costco for, I don't know, I'll say $1 a bottle. You can walk into Starbucks and pay probably $4 a bottle. And then if you're in the hotel or in the airport, you're probably paying $5 or $6 a bottle. But people are still buying water. So don't be afraid to raise your prices. Raise your prices. And really raising your prices comes down to this whole issue of money set point. Now, many of you know what I mean by money set point. Say, write in money set point in the comments. Money set point. So money set point, everyone has a different money set point for every single thing. So if we were to talk about hotels, hotel rooms, you'd probably be happy, or hotel rooms might go from $25 to $200. And you might say, well, a $20 hotel room, no, I'm not going to go in there because it's, dirty, or you're not guaranteed, or it doesn't have the amenities. But then again, you might say, well, $200, that's way too much. A story that a coach told me once was about money set point, and her husband built harps, harps like this. And a harp, he was going to, in this particular year, create a custom harp. And it was going to be extremely expensive. And part of the thing about this harp was he was going to deliver it directly to your home for you. So the story goes that he had this harp to deliver. He plugged the coordinates into his phone or his GPS, and he starts driving, and, it says turn right here, and he turns into a mobile home park. And he goes, no, this can't be right. But he goes to the address that it says, and it's kind of a rundown mobile home. And he goes, well, that's what it says. But, I've got this like $50,000 harp. Goes up to the door and he knocks and he says, hi, my name is so-and-so. And she goes, yay, I can't wait. My harp is here. My harp is here. This woman set point for her harp was very different set point than for the house that she was living in. Okay. So when you're thinking about raising your prices, don't prejudge your client. Okay. And we're going to talk about, at the end, I'm going to talk about 10 signs that might indicate, 7 signs that might indicate that you should raise your prices. Okay, here we are. Mistake number 2. Mistake number 2 that I see so often is people selling not only low ticket programs, but that the low ticket programs are not linked to a higher ticket program. So I'll show you what I mean. And I'm going to use what I call the money pyramid or the profit pyramid. And we talk about, here's the profit pyramid, what you can do for free, what you can do at low ticket, what you can do at medium ticket, and what you can do at high ticket. So these should be linked. In other words, they should be reflective of each other. So let's say, who do I have on the line here that maybe I could use an example? All right, I'll use my own example. So a high ticket program for me might be my private coaching, okay? And we're going to say that this is $2,000 a month. I offer lots of free training, like you're seeing here, and it's all about marketing, right? Do I have a low ticket? Well, I might have a low or a medium, and I might say it's a workshop. So a low ticket item might be a workshop like the, website makeover, and that's a $500-ish. So that's here. And a medium price might be a group program that I used to run called Marketing Roadmap Intensive. But they're linked. They're all linked. They're all about getting noticed, get clients, and get profitable. There's a common theme to them. As opposed to if somebody was a health coach, and that there was a disconnect maybe. So maybe they offered something about, I don't know, I'm going to say, 10 or, ways to get calm as their freebie. But really they were talking about up here losing weight. Well, there would be a disconnect. So make sure that when you're selling, if you are selling low ticket items, right, that they are linked together. Okay. Any questions so far? Mistake number one, mistake number two. So if somebody would write in, mistake number two is selling low ticket programs or packages that are not linked to a higher ticket. Okay, so if somebody would write that in the comments, I would love you. All right, mistake number three. Oh, this is such a big mistake that I see. Mistake number three is offering too many choices. How many times have I seen entrepreneurs, small business owners, and not just coaches and consultants think that, oh, well, I'm not getting the sales that I want, so I'm going to create another package. I'm going to create another program. And so they have multiple offers. And I remember once a business owner came to me, actually a cleaning service. And I think he had on his website 15 different services. 15 different services. And I went, too many choices. And when a client or a prospect sees too many choices, what happens? They pick nothing. And when you have too many choices, very often what happens is that your prospect says, I don't know what to choose, so I won't choose anything. And it also shows to them or demonstrates that perhaps you're not an expert in any one thing. So if I go back to the cleaning service, one of the things that we did was we said, what is the differentiator? And his differentiator was that he had a very unique differentiator. And when he focused on that one differentiator, that's when his business grew. Too many choices. You really need only, if you're just starting out, a low ticket and a high ticket. That's it. Don't make things complicated. Don't make things complicated. So mistake number three, if somebody would write this in the chat, is too many choices. Too many choices. And I get it. As entrepreneurs, we are a creative bunch. And some people, I'll use this word loosely, hide behind creating new things. And I've seen it with trainers. I've seen it with consultants that instead of offering this signature program, they're offering multiple different programs and they are customizing. And in fact, last week I had somebody come to me and say, well, Diana, I want to work with you privately, but, I only want to do this. And I go, that's it. That's what I do. And otherwise, maybe we're just not a good fit, right? So make sure that you're not offering too many choices. Mistake number 4, drum roll. Oh, yeah. Mistake number 4 is sharing your prices too early. And first of all, I have to tell you, I've made all these mistakes, right? In all the years that I've been in business, I've made these mistakes and probably more. But sharing your prices too early, I remember when I was first starting speaking, and maybe it was my very first speaking event. And a client came to me and said, Diana, would you speak to my class at university? And I forget what the topic was, but after she came up to me and she said, oh, that was amazing. She says, what does it cost to work with you? And I quoted her price. And I went, no, because when you quote a price, right, people don't see the value. And that's why I deter people from quoting prices and putting prices on websites, because sharing your prices too early like that, you don't have the opportunity to explain the value that they will actually get. Okay? So, do you put your prices on a website? I usually tell people no. Okay? When in a sales conversation should you talk about your prices? Not till they ask you. Yeah. It's all about talking about their problem. It's not talking about your solution until they are ready to fix their problem and to hire you. Okay. Now, I want to share with you 3 words that have proven lifesavers for me. When people ask you, so what do you charge? Here's your 3 words. It all depends. It all depends on the result that they want. It all depends on if they want group or private. It all depends on where they are in their business. It all depends on a lot of things. And that's why if they say something like that, you can say, well, it all depends. We really need to have a discussion. So let's book a call, right? So don't share your prices too early in the conversation or too early in what I call the customer journey, right? The customer journey. Somebody is a suspect. You suspect they might be a customer. They're a prospect, and then they become a client. So don't share your prices too early in that overall journey. All right, so that was mistake number 4. And if somebody would write that in the chat, that would be amazing. Are you getting value from this? Who is getting value? Who is this helping? I want to know if this is helping you. So just write help, helpful in the chat would be great. All right, good one. All right, mistake number 5. Awesome. I can't see, because we're using StreamYard today, I can't see who is commenting unless you give StreamYard permission to share your name. But if it's all those A's, I suspect it might be someone I know. All right. Mistake number 5 is pricing by the hour, the session, or by the month. Okay, and there's several problems with this. And here's the thing. Number 1 problem with pricing by the hour, the session, or the month is it's harder to sell. Coaching, and if I'm guessing, those of you who are on the call, what you do is transformational. Transformation doesn't happen overnight. If you read my blog this week, It was titled, Would You Rather? And it was precipitated by, you know, my story of a couple of things. My story of, as a child, I wanted to take piano lessons. And the teacher said to my parents, would you rather her learn a song or become a musician? There's a big difference. A song, I could learn, I could practice a song, learn those individual notes. But as a musician, I would not have the nuances of how that worked together. Then as a teenager, I taught horseback riding, equestrian riding. And I soon learned that becoming an equestrian wasn't the same as learning how to do these individual tactics like, walking, posting, cantering, going over a jump. Those were individual tactics. Those still did not make up an equestrian. So a transformation that you're offering, you have to be clear on what that transformation is and sell the result. Sell the result. It's not a moment of time that they are purchasing. So let's say, let's go back to the piano player or piano teacher, right? You're not paying for their time sitting in front of you. You are paying for the 25 years of practice, their certification, everything that has led them to this point. So you are not paying for them by the hour. All right. So pricing by the hour or session, it's harder to sell. Number two, people think it's too expensive. So here's the thing. You are only going to be working with clients a certain number of hours in your week. It's only so many, a lawyer might say, there's only so many billable hours. You still have to do the marketing. You still have to do the customer service. You still have to do all that. You still have to take your training. So those billable hours, you've got to bill them a little higher to take care of the marketing and take care of all those. A service-based entrepreneur who's in the transformational business should be charging somewhere between $100 an hour to $500 an hour if they were using that as a basis. Your prospects are going to think, oh my God, I'm not going to pay you that kind of money, right? And so if you price by the hour or the session, then it doesn't work. The third reason pricing by the hour session doesn't work is that it puts a cap on your earnings because you only have so many hours in a day. And I remember at one of my live events, this woman came up when I did hot seat coaching and sat on the stage beside me. And I asked her what her problem was about marketing. And she said, I don't have any time to do marketing. I went, okay. And she said, because I'm working with clients. I said, are you working with clients all the time? And she said, yes. And I said, so why are you here? If your week is filled with client fulfillment, you must be making boatloads of money. Well, the truth of the matter was she was charging by the hour. She got amazing results with her clients. But anyway, we started working together and I showed her how to package things together. And she was able to not only decrease the number of hours she worked in a week, but double her income. So make sure that you are not doing this. It puts a cap on your earnings. And the fourth thing is about pricing by the hour. The fourth thing is you get less committed clients. So another client of mine had a signature program, but she was pricing quite low for the transformation that she was offering. Her name was Frances. And when, despite me pushing her and encouraging her to raise her prices significantly, she resisted. Finally, she said, okay. She raised her prices significantly, and she wrote back to me saying one of the best things about that was that she got better committed clients. They were committed for the long haul, for the transformation. So think about this when you are pricing, that you want committed clients. If you're offering something really cheap and inexpensive, are they going to be willing to do the work? I learned this lesson really, really early in my coaching career, thinking I was doing someone a favor and gifted them into my program. They didn't do the work. There was no skin in the game, right? There's no skin in the game. And if there's no skin in the game, they're not committed. So very often, pricing as a package, as a signature program, which is about the value of the transformation, you will get much better committed clients. Okay, and the last one about pricing by the hour or by the month is that you are always on the cash flow roller coaster. So I'll go back to this and I'll go, it might look as though I'm charging here by the month. It's just that the payment is broken down by the month. So in my program, it's a minimum of 6 months times 2. Okay. They get a transformation in that process. However, I break it down so that they can easily pay by the month. There is a difference that way. Okay. So cash flow roller coaster happens when you are, okay, I get some clients, I get some clients, I get some clients. Cash is good. I don't have time to do any marketing, no time to do any marketing. Oh my God, I got to do some marketing. And then you go like this. And it happens over and over and over again. Having a signature program, or what I call a core offering. So if I have clients that are committed for 6 months, I know that I'm going to have $2,000 a month for 6 months. If I have 5 of those clients, right, I know that I'm going to have $10,000 a month. I know what my cash flow is going to be, and I am priced for profit. So if you don't have a signature program or a flagship program or a core compelling offer, then I would highly suggest that you consider creating one. So that was the 5 big mistakes that I see happening. Now I want to talk about how to price your core offer, your flagship offer, or your signature program. 3 ways. Okay? 3 ways. Number one is cost. Now, these are 3 ways to price. You might end up using a combination of the 3 things. But cost is very often, if somebody has a product, they are very often looking at cost. So a cost of the supplies, right? You've got to include those. But maybe you also put in how many, an approximation of how many hours. So pricing by cost. And I really tell people that, especially when I'm talking with product-based, that they have to have a 50% plus margin. You've got to have profit, because profit's got to pay for all those other things. Okay, that's one way to price. Number 2 is to price by value. Price by value. And this is transformational value. What is it worth to your client? So let's talk about MasterCard, right? Priceless. So I want to talk about, I'll share with you, as I shared in my book, my daughter who was ill with chronic fatigue. Now, I forget what the exact number was, but I'm going to say that it was $2,500, the program that we took her to. And then we had to fly to England and all that. And it ended up to be about $10,000 that we paid. Now, my daughter was bedridden. There was all kinds of things. She did not have a life. Was $10,000 worth the transformational value that we got? Of course it was, because my daughter got her life back. She went from being bedridden to going back to university. And today she is well. That is value. Now, let's talk about another one, value. If another way is that I might talk to somebody about the value. What is the value? If I can help you get one new client, what is one new client worth to you? Maybe in the chat, write down, do you know what one new client is worth to you? And when you know that, what we call customer lifetime value. So let's say I have somebody that joined my MRI program, right? And they paid $1,500. Well, then they might take a workshop with me, and then they might come back. So that's $2,000, and then they might come back and do private coaching with me. So I could add almost $12,000. Okay, so I've got 0, 0, 0, 2, 3. It's $14,000. I have a client who I worked with last year, who I think we worked together. It was $20,000. She's come back to me with another 15. $35,000 lifetime value of a client. What is the transformation that that client got? Right? So if I can help you get a $14,000 client, is it not worth you investing $2,000 or $5,000 for a program to get one new client? So how could you switch this around for how you price your products? Another example of this is a client who offered a quit smoking session. And she usually did this in, I'll say, 3 one-hour sessions, and she charged $300 for the total of 3 sessions. However, the value for somebody to stop smoking, we figured out, was over $10,000. Pack of cigarettes a day, never mind their health, pack of cigarettes a day for a year, never mind the health concerns, never mind the cleaning, never mind the ripple effect on their family. So if that saved that client $10,000 and she was charging $300, do you think there was an opportunity somewhere in here for her to raise her prices and for those prospects and those clients to still see value? Yes. And that's the third way. So you've got value that could be in here. And the third way is, you know, what is your competition selling? That's probably the least of your concerns. That's probably the least of your concerns. But I recommend that you kind of take all 3 of these and create your pricing for your offer, your signature offer. Okay? Awesome. Who has questions? So those are 3 ways that you can price. Who has questions? I'd love to see them in the chat before I get into the indicators that you might be time to raise your price. So in the chat, who has a question? And I'm going to get my notes here for indicators. Nobody has a question. You're all perfectly good. You're perfectly fine. And you know how to price for profit. Good. Awesome. Good one. Okay, here we go. Here we go. And I will keep watching the chat. All right. Indicators that it's time to raise your prices. Number one is that you have somehow improved your product or service. You've improved it. Maybe you've rewritten it, you've updated it, you've added something to it, you've simplified it. So that is one way, one indicator to raise your prices. Number two is you're working way too hard and you look every month at the bank account and you go, I'm not making enough money for the time that I'm putting in. So that's a second indicator that it might be time to raise your prices. Number three, you know your worth more than what you are charging. And I think for so many people, and I'll raise my hand first, this is probably one of the biggest things holding us as women, I'm going to say women because I'm guessing we're mostly women on this call, holding women back from being a highly paid expert. And the fact is that we don't recognize ourselves as that expert. We don't sit in our own brilliance. We don't step up. We go, oh, but it's so easy. Anybody can do it. And I remember that the story years ago when, before I was a coach, I was at a BNI, which is a networking, and there was this woman. So this is back in 2013. Okay. This woman who could do social media like this. I didn't even know what social media was hardly back then. And she made it look so easy. And when we asked what she was charging, well, I'll do it for free or for very little. And I said, well, why are you charging so little? And she said, because it's so easy. Yes, it's so easy for her, but it wasn't so easy for us, her potential clients. And what you see as easy, your clients don't see as easy, right? People ask, talk about marketing. Marketing is easy for me. Maybe not so much for you that are listening. So we need to, you need to recognize, you need to know that you're worth more than you're charging. Okay. So that was number three. Number four, maybe you've had more training. So have you recently taken a training that gives you more expertise, more experience in a particular area? So you're really worth more. So I recently took a certification program, which I will take that knowledge and incorporate, into my private coaching. So am I worth more? Yeah. Right? Are you worth more because you're getting these amazing results? What are those results worth to your clients? Number five, and this goes back to being competitive, you are low priced or middle of the market. So when you look around at people who are doing similar things as you, are you low or are you medium? Maybe then that's an indicator it's time for you to raise your prices. Number six, your expenses have increased. So I'm currently working with $1 million client in Toronto, and her rent went up 30%. She has to increase her prices. She has to raise her rates. She can't just swallow a 30% increase, right? So if your expenses have increased, then maybe your prices need to increase. Number 7, you're in high demand. So are you turning people away? Those people that have wait lists. I remember some of my earlier clients building their businesses till they had a wait list. And I kept saying, it's time to raise your prices, right? If you have a wait list for what you're doing, raise your prices. Raise your prices. Clients, here's a number 8. Clients tell you that working with you is a great deal. Oh my God, that's so reasonable. Are you hearing that kind of thing? It's time to raise your rates. It's time to raise your rates. So you've got to be listening to your clients, right? That was 8. Number 9, you haven't raised your prices in the last year, or maybe never. Maybe never. What do you think? Maybe it's time. You have gained more experience. You're more efficient at what you do than a year ago, 6 months ago even. So don't be shy about raising your prices. So those are 9 indicators that it is time to raise your rates and to be priced more for profit. So that is kind of the close for today. I don't see any comments about questions or how to price something, or if somebody wanted to ask some questions, get some feedback from me, I'd be happy to do that. I'll just wait for a second and see if there's anybody who wants more clarification on something. And again, it's hashtag live or hashtag replay. And this is going to become part of a masterclass. And probably, even though you guys have it for free, it might be something that I will be charging for in the future. So there are no more questions. I hope that this has been super duper helpful. I hope you got some value from this. And if you want to give me a high five, a bunch of A's for applause, I'd love to see that in the comments. And I look forward. If you have more questions, you are welcome. Thank you. So glad that this was helpful for you, whoever wrote that comment. And I look forward to helping you more. If you have questions, post them below the broadcast here, and I will certainly try to help you out with that. Okay, thanks guys. Thanks so much. Gotta go. Got stuff to do. We'll see you next Tuesday. Bye for now.